I'm here to give you great lineups, great picks. Let's have a great night, man. Week 12. Wow, the season is flying by, man. It's almost playoff time. Happy holidays to everyone. It's about to be Thanksgiving, man. The day one subscribers, man, it mean a lot to me, man. Everyone that support my channel, like my page and everything. Before I do anything, man, you new to the channel, you like the content, like what you see, subscribe to it, man. Like it, leave a comment, and let's get to it. Let's break down these quarterback at the quarterback position. You got a lot of good options, man. Top quarterbacks of the slate is Russell, last name Wilson, averaging 25.3 fantasy points, man. Him and Lamar Jackson, both MVP candidates right now, man. At the 6,800 price tag, has quarterback on the slate, man. But a quarterback that I'm liking, and I'm playing him in a lot of GPP lineups tomorrow, averaging 22.7 fantasy point, is Matty Ice. $100 cheap from Russell Wilson. Maggie Ice, man, 79 on FanDuel, 67 on DraftKings. Bucks defense has surrendered 4 straight top 10 quarterbacks and more than 23 fantasy points. Second worst defense overall. They could give up the second most fantasy points to quarterbacks. He dropped 19 points last week. Matt Ryan is the top play quarterback. Tampa Bay has allowed 27 points in all but one game this season, and giving up the 7 most points per drive on the season. So right there, meaning go get Julio, go get Ridley, GPP stack. I like both of those. I like all 3 of those guys. No Austin Hooper, man, and they don't have no run game. Devontae Freeman's he's hurt, so definitely gonna be airing it out tomorrow a lot. So definitely like Matt Ryan for your quarterback tomorrow. I'm gonna give you quarterbacks that I like that think will help you out. 17.4 Drew Brees, man, going against Carolina. He got the best receiver in the league on his team, Michael Thomas. I feel he's the best receiver in the league right now. And definitely like him for a GPP stack. And you get throw it a little bit Jared Cook in there also. You want to go that direction. Another quarterback that I like for tomorrow is 6,100, Derek Carr. Derek Carr, man, going against the Jets. 11th worst defense overall. Give up 10th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. Jets have allowed more than 270 yards and nearly 19 fantasy points a game. All that been said, the last 4 quarterbacks only 20-plus fantasy points. Gardner Minshew, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins. I'm just saying, man, the Jets defense is not good at all. So at the 61 price tag, you can go get Terrell Williams with him, Waller, throw him in GPP stack. I'm pretty sure Derek Carr will be low on. A lot of people will not be playing him tomorrow. Do not think he'd be a high candidate. A lot of people probably will, stay away from Derek Carr, but I definitely like Derek Carr tomorrow a lot. And in that same game, you got Sam Darnold, another quarterback that I like, at 5,800, and you got 5,900. Baker Mayfield. I like him a lot. He's averaging 15.4 fantasy points a game. Third worst defense of all. Give up the 4th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. The Dolphins have allowed more than 20 fantasy points a game. So last 3 games, Baker Mayfield, 22, 18, 17 fantasy points. He's been playing pretty good. If you do go that direction with him, I like Jarvis Landry. Revenge narrative. This is first time playing the Dolphins. He got traded 2 years ago. So I like him a lot. And Odell Beckham, I like him too, man. I think it's time for Odell to have a good game tomorrow, man, against Miami. If he don't do it against Miami, I don't know what to say about it. I like him a lot. I didn't really mention Dak Prescott. I mean, he been balling, but he going against number 1 defense tomorrow. So definitely don't want to play no Prescott. And also, another quarterback I like a lot tomorrow, 5,400, Nick Foles. I'm from Tennessee, and the Titans play down to their opponent. They go beat the Patriots. They go beat the Eagles. They go beat the Chiefs. They go beat the good teams. But when they have to play a mediocre team, Titans, they always wet the bed, don't get the job done. So I definitely like Nick Foles with all-star receiver. He's been playing pretty good, man. DJ Chark Jr. And also you got Mike Conley. You can go that direction with those. I like Chark probably better than Conley. With GPP stack, Foles been playing pretty good. I mean, he's been hurt, but I think this is a good game for him. Foles to have a bounce back game against the Tennessee Titans. And that's about it at quarterback. I mean, nobody else I really would recommend you guys put in your lineup because Trubisky's trash. And that's probably about it. The quarterback I'm going to lock in tomorrow is for you guys, Baker Mayfield. At the running back position, you got a lot of good options, man. Christian McCaffrey, 10,500. He's the highest quarterback on the slate. Highest running back on the slate tomorrow, averaging 32.4 fantasy points a game. McCaffrey, man, I'm not probably paying that up price tag. I'm not paying that price to him, premium price. Probably not having that much exposure to him. I'm pretty sure he would hit value, but the New Orleans Saints defense, they got a very good defense, man. They're playing in New Orleans. That's all they got. One person they got, Christian McCaffrey. And 8,200, you got Alvin Kamara averaging 18.5 fantasy points a game, getting around 12.9 rush attempts a game, 12th worst defense overall they're going against tomorrow, third most points to running backs, fantasy points, the Panthers. So all that being said, the Panthers are allowing the league worst 1.8 rush touchdowns a game. So that's terrible. And also, the Panthers has allowed opponents to score touchdowns on 65.7% of their drives, highest margin in the NFL. So I feel like Kamara will have a good game tomorrow. I don't see no reason why not. He's healthy. They should have a good game. In the 8,100, you got Nick Chubb going against the Miami Dolphins. Third worst defense overall. Give up the fifth most fantasy points to running backs. He's averaging 20.1 rush attempts a game, 3.7 pass targets, and 73% snap count. So Chubb's a fantastic matchup, man. A lot of people like, oh, Hunt is back, but at the end of the day, man, you can't predict how things gonna go. The game flow. Chubb's in a good matchup, so plug him in. You can't be just like, oh, I don't know what y'all do. Just go with Chubb. Chubb's in a fantastic matchup. It's just $100 difference. They got a lot of these guys priced up pretty good. Barkley, don't like the matchup tomorrow against the Bears tomorrow because Daniel Jones, he's not good at all. And you got Leonard Fournette. I like Leonard Fournette and I like Derrick Henry. I usually don't like playing two guys from the same game. I probably would do that tomorrow. Fournette is averaging 17.9 fantasy points a game, getting around 20 plus rush attempts a game. Game script Titans, like I told you, they play down to their opponent. I feel like Jacksonville will have a good game against the Titans tomorrow. And you got Samuels. The Bengals are allowing the fifth most fantasy points to running backs and the second most rushing touchdowns a game. So all that being said, no James Conner. I know they got Benny Snell coming back tomorrow, but Samuels will be the primary running back. I think that's a good price tag for him at 7,200. But 6,900, Derrick Henry probably the top back tomorrow. I like him a lot. Derrick Henry, man, is averaging around 17.8 fantasy points a game, 18.7 rushes a game. And also, Jacksonville just allowed 100 yards rushing to Marlon Mack and Jonathan Williams. And Derrick Henry, man, got been balling. 6,900 on DraftKings and 8,400 on FanDuel. He's the second highest running back on FanDuel. That's kind of high, but, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, 6,900, like him a lot. Plug him in. Another running back I like tomorrow, Joe Mixon at 5,900 going against Pittsburgh Steelers. Last three games, 17, 16, 16. He's getting his legs back. Joe Mixon been playing pretty good. 45 rush attempts last 2 weeks, and home teams are averaging 27 carries, third most, 33.8 touches against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So basically, man, he's in a good matchup. So they don't have a good quarterback, so they definitely gonna pay. I'll get it carries to Mixon tomorrow. I'm gonna light him in, put him in my lineup. Another guy, you got Kareem Hunt, averaging 13.1 fantasy points a game. Game script, you got Chubb too, but Kareem Hunt definitely. He's a flex option in season-long leagues. The guy will give you 12, 13 fantasy points. Definitely a PPR machine. And at the another guy that I like, this cheap Singletary, man, Singletary. Like him a lot, averaging 12 fantasy points a game, 5,400. Is a cheap person you can put in your lineup. Has been playing pretty good. He's definitely the dominant running back now. Frank Gore not getting used that a lot. Another play, cheap 5,200. Philip Lindsay, like him too, averaging 14.2 fantasy points a game. You got Miles Sanders. That's a committee approach. You just don't know who's going to play. I know Jordan Howard was hurt with a shoulder injury. So if he don't play, he was the primary running back last week. Really didn't do much against New England. The number one defense is Zeke Elliott owners. I wouldn't recommend y'all playing Elliott tomorrow. And also, you got Brian Hill. I'm not saying much about him, man. Guy was pretty bad last week. And you got Darius Geis. Definitely like him, man. Going against Detroit Lions. Lions have allowed a top 10 running back last 5 or 6 games. So definitely like him because I do not know for sure if Adrian Peterson will be playing tomorrow. And another, let me see, the guy that I'm going to try to plug in my lineup is pretty cheap. I think he's a hell of a play. Bo Scambro, averaging 11.5 fantasy points a game, 4,200, man. He's like premium price on FanDuel. With that being said, I'm being a little different. I'm going to throw him in my lineup, man, because he should be a primary running back tomorrow for the Detroit Lions going against Washington defense. It's not that good at all. And for the receivers, top receivers for tomorrow, you got Michael Thomas. Averaging 25.5 fantasy points a game, man. Michael Thomas been playing pretty good, man. Top receiver in the league, my opinion. Getting 11.3 targets a game. He's projected to get 26.3 fantasy points tomorrow. Like I said earlier, Drew Brees, stack him up. You want to go to the directions. He's 1,300 more than Julio. But Julio Jones, man, 18.3 fantasy points a game going against the worst defense in the league. One of the worst defenses in the league, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 8,000 price tag, getting around 9.3 targets a game, 23.6 projected fantasy points for tomorrow. So I definitely like Julio Jones, like him. Stack him with Matt Ryan and go get. If you want to spend a price for Julio, you can pivot down and go get Ridley. Both of those guys, good matchup. And Tyler Lockett, 7,600, man. Whenever you will see Tyler Lockett priced like this, man, guy been balling. 18.6 fantasy points a game, getting around 7.6 targets a game. He's projected to score 16.6 fantasy points. That's on one of Russell Wilson's favorite targets. And you got Mike Evans, man. Him and Godwin both been balling, man. Mike Evans averaging 21 fantasy points a game, 9.7 targets a game. 7 worst defense overall, give up the 6 most fantasy points receivers, 90% snap count. Definitely like Mike Evans, like Goodwin too, averaging 20.9 fantasy points. Do not see the wrong playing both of those guys. And Odell Beckham, man, would this be the breakout game for Odell Beckham? Definitely like that for tomorrow. Odell Beckham, 8.9 targets a game. I like him going against Miami Dolphins a lot. Last week, John Brown, man, had a pretty good game, man. Best game since early this season. He played pretty good last week. Ridley, 6,500. If you want to pay the premium price for Julio, you can always keep people to Ridley. And Ridley in the same good matchup, averaging 14.5 fantasy points a game. I like Ridley a lot. Chalk Jr., what I said about the Titans. Exactly. Averaging 19 fantasy points a game. DJ Chalk Jr. been playing pretty good, man. Like this young cat. He got Nick Foles back. Titan secondary. It's nothing to be scared of. A few weeks ago, I was at the game. Tyreek Hill, ate him up. Titans defense, couldn't stop him. So I definitely like Chalk Jr. tomorrow with Nick Foles. That's a little different. Got to be different to win money. And Jarvis Landry, 6,300, averaging 14.1 fantasy points a game. Revenge narrative going against Miami. Definitely feel like Landry can bounce back and do pretty good. DK Metcalf, averaging 12.9 fantasy points, getting 6.4 pass targets a game. Fourth most fantasy points around receivers. Seattle has Lau. He's on the field 81% of the snaps. His price is kind of high on DraftKings. Probably a better tournament play than I'm playing cash. Jamison Crowder, 12.8 fantasy points a game. He getting around 7.3 targets a game, 7-8% snap count. Sam Darnold has thrown 30% of the time in the slot. So most of the time, Jamison Crowder played the slot. They give up the 6 most fantasy points for our receivers. So definitely like Jamison Crowder. No Juju tomorrow. Another guy I like with Derek Carr stack. I like Terrell Williams, averaging 13.7 fantasy points a game. 5.4 targets. He's averaging 86% snap count. 11 worst defense overall. Give it the 3rd most fantasy points receivers. He's averaging 13.7. So I like him tomorrow, being a little different. You can also, I'm trying to be cheap, some little value guys. You can throw in your lineup tomorrow. 4,800. Randall Cobb, man. I know he's going to get some tough defense with Patriots, but Randall Cobb been playing pretty good. I'm pretty sure Gilmore will be on Amari Cooper tomorrow, so at least Cobb should be able to get some good points tomorrow. And you got this guy right here, Renfro. with the Oakland Raiders, man. This guy been playing pretty good with the 45 price tag. Definitely with his value. Against New York, just defense is terrible. And that's about it. Oh, like I mentioned, you got DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett, also Josh Gordon. He got traded. I mean, Patriots released him, so I feel like Josh Gordon will be more have a better relationship with Russell Wilson. Had a bye week, communication, just running routes, getting comfortable with one another, and I feel like Josh Gordon could be a sleeper. And receiver, I'm gonna go with Julio, and I'm gonna go get Odell Beckham. I always can change my mind and go get Jarvis Landry too with Baker Mayfield. We'll keep this tight end or receiver spot open right now. And for the tight end, top tight end tomorrow is Zach Ertz, 6,000, averaging 13.3 fantasy points a game. He only had 11 pass targets the last 2 games, 87% snap count, 13 worst defense overall, give up the 5th most fantasy points to tight ends. I like him a lot tomorrow, man, going against Seattle, and I like his counterpart, Dallas Goedert. If you don't want to pay up for that price, go ahead and pivot down 3,700. There's nothing wrong with that one. And also Waller, averaging 14.7 fantasy points. Derek Carr stack 5,700. Noah Ingram, Jared Cook, 8.6 fantasy points averaging going against Carolina tomorrow. And a guy that I like a lot tomorrow, Ryan Griffin, with the Jets. Raiders have surrendered 7 touchdowns and 5th most points to tight ends. So Ryan Griffin definitely in the perfect spot at the price at 4,200. And you got Noah Fant with Denver averaging 7.6 fantasy points a game, 3,900 price tag. That's probably a pretty good price. Dallas Goedert, like I told you earlier, man, guy been playing pretty good. If you look at the game script with Dallas Goedert, man, I really can't say nothing bad about him. Pretty good, man. The game log. Let me see, 12 points. Yeah, man, 15, 11, 7, and 12, man. Been playing like a starter, man. I know he's second string tight end, but guy been playing pretty good. So Delaney Walker, 3,600. You got Jonah Smith, averaging 5.8 fantasy points a game. Really ain't did much, man, but he can take it to the house speed, man. Breakout player. And Vince McDonald, man, I'm on him a lot. Going against Cincinnati. Rudolph don't have a big arm, so he always check down routes. So Vince McDonald's a guy I like. Juju Smith. So he getting 21 targets last 3 games and 77% snap count. So they give it the 9th most fantasy points to tight end. So Cincinnati, good matchup for Vince McDonald. And if I did go cheap for tight end, you got Gesicki. He ain't did much lately. He has he probably could have a bounce back game against Cleveland. And that's about it. I will go at for tight end. It's cheap. So the tight end I'm gonna go with is I'm gonna get Vince McDonald. And say Vincent for the flex spot. I like a lot of good options. I got 15,000 to play with. But I'm gonna get Derrick Henry. Go against Jacksonville, man. That's gonna be the workhorse. And for the defense, the top defense is the Steelers at 4,000, going against a backup quarterback. Nothing wrong with paying that price tag, but I probably wouldn't. I'm not probably gonna pay that. And the Browns going against Fitzmagic tomorrow at 3,800. You just don't know what type of play with the Cleveland Browns come out to play tomorrow. And the Bears defense against Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones and Jameis Winston, they pretty much close friends because they both throw a lot of turnovers. So nothing wrong with 3,700 for the Bears defense because Daniel Jones will throw the ball away. And you got Raiders defense going against Raiders going against New York Jets. I just really can't say, man, because I feel like Sam Darnold is a decent quarterback. I'm pretty sure he won't throw that many picks, so I definitely don't like the Raiders defense tomorrow. 3,500, like I told you earlier. 3,400 for the Falcons defense. I like them a lot, man, going against Jameis Winston. He will throw you the ball. He could get Mike Evans for 2 or 3 touchdowns or 150 yards for Mike Evans, but he definitely will throw some picks tomorrow. And I've been on the Bills Mafia for a minute, man. Their defense hasn't been doing much for me, but against a matchup against a backup quarterback playing at home, hopefully they maybe get some sacks and interceptions tomorrow. They haven't been doing much lately in good matchups. And the Saints defense at 3,300, definitely a good price tag because you got Kyle. What's that guy name? Allen, the backup quarterback. He threw 5 picks last week to Atlanta, so why not? He can do the same thing against New Orleans. Their defense is pretty good. The number 1 defense is the Patriots tomorrow against the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense is terrible, but the Cowboys got good offense. So, you know, if you want to punt that price down there, and if I did go any cheaper defense, I'm just hypothetically, the Bengals defense 2100 is down there. It's cheap going against Rudolph. Rudolph, he's not been impressive to me, man. If you want to just go down there, if they can either get a pick or do anything, man, it might be worth it. Just a punt play. But defense, I'm gonna rock with them Falcons, man. Give you around 5100 left for a wide receiver. You know, at the end of the day, man, you don't have to necessarily use your all your salary. Some people are like, oh, I gotta use all my salary. You don't have to use salary. I don't see plenty of guys that won big money had like at least $1,000 left, maybe 600, 400 left, then use the whole salary cap. It's crazy, but it happens. You got a Pittsburgh Johnson. You got Washington, 5,100, 5,000. And another receiver that I will remember, Robbie Anderson, 4,800. I like him a lot, and I like Jamison Crowder. Like I mentioned earlier, Randall Cobb, like him too. D.D. Westbrook, like him. I like all exposure to that Titans. Say secondary suck. And like I told you earlier, 4,500, a receiver for the Ravens. I like him too. And Josh Gordon, I mentioned him earlier. Yeah, it's about, let me see, it's another guy. Yeah, that's about it, man, for the receivers, man. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you guys. Like the page, subscribe to my channel. And that's my DraftKings plays and people I like on DraftKings. But I'm going to show you a little bit of my FanDuel. Tell me what y'all think about the FanDuel. Okay, these is the plays I like on FanDuel. Like I mentioned earlier, FanDuel prices and DraftKings prices a little bit different. Russell Wilson, the highest quarterback, and Matt Ryan is a little bit, I already got, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying, though, man. Price is a little bit different on here. But, like I was saying, yeah, man, price is a little bit different on DraftKings and FanDuel. But the plays that I like, man, I like Sam Darnold, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, I like Calvin Ridley, Chalk Jr., Jamison Crowder, Zach Ertz. Sorry about that. My screen kind of froze a little bit. And Zach Ertz and Atlanta Falcons defense. That's the plays I like for tomorrow, man. I like those plays a lot. But yeah, man. Hopefully, if you guys like what you see, man, you like the content, subscribe to my channel, man. Until next time, this is your boy Ron back with DFS Greatness. Follow your boy on Twitter, DFS Greatness on Twitter, and also hit the comment section. Just give me some good plays, man. Y'all like, let's just talk football. Until next time, I'm out.